Hey, welcome to the show, guys. I appreciate you stopping by. Hey, so I just got back from spending some time with family over the holiday season and ready to get back, make some videos. So I watched the first 2 episodes of the Book of Boba Fett, and I thought it was really good. I really enjoyed these shows. There might be some spoilers here, as I put in the description. So just be aware of that if you haven't seen the show yet. Just go over to Disney Plus and check out the show. I thought it was pretty good. As a Boba Fett fan, I'm kind of liking this, getting a little more in-depth look into Boba Fett, and the whole scene at the beginning of the first episode where he escapes the Sarlacc pit. Everybody's been wondering, how did he get out of the Sarlacc pit since the Mandalorian, and he shows up on the Mandalorian. So we get a look into that. I like the whole idea of them doing 2 stories at once. The story that's going on now, that's happened right after the Mandalorian, and then when he goes into the bacta tank to sleep and he dreams, and you start seeing his story from after the most traumatizing thing that's ever happened to him, going into the Sarlacc pit, and then what happened to him since then up until this point. So I'm really liking that. I'm really liking the whole feel of the show. I love the whole that the background is Tatooine, and you're getting to see a lot more of the that kind of hidden lore of the original Star Wars, of what happens in these corrupt towns on Tatooine, and so that's really neat. I'm liking that. That's very interesting to me as a lifelong Star Wars fan. So yeah, I really like that. I'm not there. There are some things that I don't care for. I don't care for him constantly removing his helmet. In the originals, he never removed his helmet. But they kind of set that up in the Mandalorian, that not all the Mandalorians keep their face hidden all the time. There's like different levels of their devotion to Mandalore, if you will, and he's not really a true Mandalorian. He basically inherited this from, of course, his father, Jango Fett, who also removed his helmet. So there's that. And then he had his helmet removed by Mace Windu. So yeah, I'm really enjoying the show so far. I love the first episode. I thought it was great. You're getting this look of the torture that he kind of went through after getting out of the Sarlacc pit. He was half dead. The Jawas come along and they basically rob him, take all of his armor and stuff. And then the Tuscan Raiders, or as I always call them, the Sand People, come along, and they basically imprison him. They give him something to drink, and they drag him off and imprison him. What for? I don't know what their purpose was, but he slowly starts winning them over, and by I guess that he kills this big this young Tuscan Raider, kind of like I kind of befriends him a little bit, I guess, because he had a chance to just kill him and he didn't. There was a scene there and he was like, wow, he could have killed me, but he didn't, So he takes him off into the desert, and they with another prisoner, and they're looking for these pods underground. I guess they contain water, and so then this giant Goro creature comes out. Looks like Goro from the Mortal Kombat, like a mix between Goro and the giant roach bug from Men in Black or something. I don't know. And so he kills it, Princess Leia style, with a chain, and they take its head back and kind of wins him over a little bit. Like, hey, he could have done anything at that point. He could have killed the kid. He could have done anything, but instead they come back. And yeah, you get. I like that you're getting this in-depth look at these background characters, like the Tuscan Raiders. We're starting to see a little more of the way they work, the way they operate. They're very, we'll just say they're very antiquated in the way they operate. They're not. They don't have technology. Their main weapon is like the big staff and the specific type of rifle that they have. They kind of remind you of like, it kind of reminds you a little bit of like a Native American tribes when people came here with guns and things like that, with more advanced weaponry, and it kind of reminds you of that kind of feel. And so the Sand People are on the outskirts. They live in the deserts of Tatooine, and they do actually have, they have a family structure. You see that in the original. It's just like they're just savages. They come in packs like hyenas or whatever, but it kind of gives you more in-depth look at their family structure, their hierarchy, the way they work, and the fact that they're very skilled fighters. And so he teaches Boba Fett how to fight using the staff that they use mostly. So I really like that a lot. And the dream sequences are really cool. Where he's going back and seeing what happened, and then when he wakes up, then he's back into now, and he's taken over Jabba the Hutt's criminal empire, if you will, and people are coming into the palace to. You think they still call it Jabba's palace, or is it now Fett's palace? I guess it would be Fett's palace now, wouldn't it? But anyways, they're coming in and they're giving paying tribute, bringing him money, basically, for protection. It's like, old school, pay the gangsters for protection, and you can continue on with business. And so the governor, though, is not going to play. He sends his guy there, basically looking for money from Boba Fett, and so they're not real happy with that. And then they go into town, and they go into a cantina, which is very reminiscent of Mos Eisley's cantina. It looks very much like it, the same feel. And I thought it was kind of funny to see Rex in there, and he's like dealing cards, they're playing like a card game or something, and he's the dealer. If you know who Rex is, he's DJ Rex now in the Disney's Star Wars Land. So he used to be the pilot on Star Tours when Star Tours first opened up at Disney MGM Studios, and that was the most coolest thing to me when I would go to Disney MGM and see the giant AT-ATs out there and the speeder bike, and then you go in and they had the ride that you rode on, and this character Rex was the pilot. Well, they changed that over to R2-D2 and C-3PO being the droids, which is more appropriate. And then now Rex is a DJ in a restaurant in the Star Wars Land there at Disney Movie Studios, or whatever they call it now. And it was kind of neat to see him in the movie. So they're bringing parts of the Disney theme park character into the show, into the Star Wars lore, which I thought was pretty neat to see. That was kind of funny to me. And also to show that technology is kind of catching up here with Star Wars. They had those robotic dogs, the real ones that you see. I forget what they're called, but they had some of them running around, equipped up a little bit different, running around through the streets as droids because they're real droids. So I thought that was pretty neat to see. And yeah, then they had this scene where they're leaving. They pay them when they go into the cantina. They get paid from the cantina, and then when they're leaving, they get jumped by these like these ninja characters that have these fields and just hand them their ass. And I thought that was a little off. I mean, I would have liked to seen a better fight there between Boba Fett and and because Boba Fett is this great. There's such a lore behind him. He's such a great fighter. He's very good at what he does. He has all these tricks and weapons, and he can shoot the missiles. He could have shot the missiles over the fields and came back. But I don't know. They just got kind of handed their ass there, and then they finally run off, and then he sends Fennec after the two that's taken off, and they capture one of them and bring him back. So they got this mercenary ninja guy there, and he won't talk. They're trying to get him to tell him who hired him, and he won't talk. It's part of their code. They'll die before they talk. So they drop him into the Rancor pit, the arena underneath, and they move forward, and they're looking down in there, and they're telling me, hey, So the Rancor doors slowly opening, and so he tells them it's the governor. The governor hired him, and then of course the door opens and there's nothing there because Luke Skywalker killed the Rancor, so there's nothing there. So I thought that was kind of funny. So they go to visit the governor, and these mercenary ninjas are there. They work for the governor. But basically, the governor's like, yeah, they work for me, but they're not the one. I'm not the one who sent them after you. You should go back to the cantina and talk to them. So they go back to the cantina and come to find out that these twin huts that are supposed to be on another planet doing something else decided they want to come back and take Jabba's palace, so they hired these guys to get rid of Boba Fett, so they could take over there as the crime boss on Tatooine and take over Jabba's position. And so they go outside and they come down the road, and I thought it was kind of funny. The guys are carrying the two huts, two of these massive creatures on this platform, and you can see they're struggling to hold them up. And from what I could see, they didn't have enough guys carrying them. They needed more. But anyways, we get introduced to this really cool black-haired Wookiee who comes out, and he's like a guard or protection for these huts, and he looks pretty badass, and I can't wait to see more of him in this show. Yeah, that's going to be pretty cool. But there's a little bit of face-off, a little showdown that happens there. But the huts end up deciding that they're going to walk away for the day. And so that's what they do. And then pretty much it goes back into, he gets back into the Bacta tank, and you get back into the whole dream sequence of him with the Tuscan Raiders, and he's just learning more from them, learning more how to fight, and then with using the staff and stuff, and then this hover train thing starts shooting through the desert, and they just start shooting the Tuscan Raiders out of this armored train, and Tuscan Raiders don't really know how to deal with it. They just kind of get shot, and they try to hide, and they shoot some banthas and stuff like that, and kill some of their banthas, kill some of the Tuscan Raiders. And so Boba Fett tells him, I can stop this train for you. So he sees some guys through the night on these speeder bikes, and they're going to this cantina. So he goes to this cantina and he basically beats all their asses, and then he takes the speeder bikes back because Tuscan Raiders have no technology. They don't have vehicles or anything. They use animals, basically like horseback. They use the banthas to ride around on, and so he brings these speeder bikes back, and there's a little bit of funny stuff where he's trying to teach them how to drive and ride on these, operate the speeder bikes so that they can attack this train. And they end up doing that. They attack the train. They bring the train down to find out that the train is basically carrying spice. So he tells them, go back and tell your bosses that if you want to travel through here, you'll be under our protection. You just have to pay the Tuscan Raiders spice every time you come through here. And that's kind of how the show ends. Anyway, so far I'm really interested in the show. I love all the back lore that they're showing, all the bringing some 3 dimension to these characters that were just kind of background characters in the original movie. And you're getting to see, like I said, a little more of that underground of these towns, these cities on Tatooine. And yeah, I can't wait to see more of it. Can't wait to see where this goes. And I don't know, I just really like the show. I know the show's getting some mixed reviews. I was reading one reviewer who just totally trashed the show, and I thought it was unfair, man. I think Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni do a phenomenal job with anything Star Wars. I don't understand how they can do Star Wars so well, and the rest of Disney sucks so bad at it. I just don't get it. They should put those two in control of anything Star Wars from here on out, because they seem to have a little better grasp of Star Wars than the rest of Disney does. Especially Kathleen Kennedy, who I know is oversees this, but I'm pretty sure that Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni have a little more say in what's going on in the show. So, because I know Jon Favreau wrote the first show. I'm not sure who wrote the second one. Let me check. Oh, Jon Favreau and George Lucas wrote the second episode. So that's pretty cool. I've seen Dave Filoni in the credits, but I don't see him on here. Steph Green was the director on this one, on the second episode. All right. I think I like the second episode a little better than the first episode, but I think it's just the way it is. It takes a little, to get into the show. So yeah, I can't wait to see where it goes from here. Anyways, if you're enjoying Book of Boba Fett, let me know down in the comments if you're enjoying it, or if you don't like it, let me know down in the comments that you hate it, and tell me why. I appreciate you stopping by. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up. Please hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you next time. I'm Chewy Solo, and this is Black and Red. See ya.
Woo! Now that is a whole lot of fun right there.